Yo, hello. I want to talk about violence. More violence is indiscriminate. It can happen for any reason and to anyone. Until we do something to stop the surge of vigilante-style justice in this country, none of us will be safe. My Liberia is Liberia of hope. In my Liberia, it is possible. Violence is not part of my Liberia. Violence leads to property damage, injury, or even death, as we are seeing in recent months in several parts of Liberia, including Monrovia. Talk to people in your community about violence. Stand up against mob justice. Be a community hero. Liberia is all that we have. We must all unite to uphold the rule of law. Thanks for listening. This is Old Man Sam Simon.
We want peace in Liberia. Peace in Monrovia. We want peace in
What happened? Mama, you still do
No, last boy. Hey, yesterday, more to our party. I go see what
Share, mama, we are only down face.
For what's a blood?
What tablet, man, piece, what tablet, piece.
No,
brain. No, stop it. You can't do that. How you a brain human being? Let me know the roster fee. Let me know the roster fee. You tell human being you're a brain human being. Let's stop the kind of thing. If we catch criminal or somebody commit crime in our community or whatsoever, take that to the law or carry that to the nearby police station and report that to the police. Let the police themselves investigate and find out whether he right or wrong. Yesterday, I was coming from Keba. A brother walking on truck. I said, they say the truck hit the motorball ball. All the motorball men plus the keke men get down. They say they want point the driver in the truck. It's wrong. Let's stop more violence. Maybe the accuser or somebody that you feel are criminal, they may not be criminal. But when you take that to the police station, based upon the police investigation, they will tell you that they may are criminal or not. Please, my people.
Who are you?
You policeman.
But you're more peace?
Yeah, come here. You're going to ask me if I answer. Yes, you're all right. As I was saying, let's stop that kind of thing. Take it to the law. You not get one right under the law, nobody right until the law can say you are right or wrong. Please, I beg you, my people.
Who say you?
If I say who tell you?
So say who?
So say Same Zion, the man who get crime stopper. He don't want to say, I'm gonna tell you, nobody will take the law in their hand. Don't say they say in Jamaica say, Same Zion say, don't take the law in your hand. You have to come where you want it was you who will be the first now to come attack me. Yeah, not true, yeah. Yeah, I feel you. Hey, all the time there. Same Zion, look at that, it's for you.
Rabbi, why you taking?
I said, darling, you look so worried.
Charles, I'm worried because I don't know where to get stuff for my shop and restaurant.
Oh, come on, man. Haven't you heard about Exeter's Best Price Store on Gurley Street and Smart Road Junction on the Old Road?
Oh, no, Charles. Tell me about it.
Exeter's Best Price Store got everything for your shop and restaurant. And the good news is that they have reduced the prices of club beer products and imported beverages. So to keep that graduation party, wedding reception, and whatever occasion jumping till the break of dawn, Exeter's Best Price Store is that place for you.
Is that all?
No, they have for the first time introduced on the LIB market Buffalo Revive that comes with 4 different flavors: Cool Blue, Apple Kiwi, Full Red, and Fitness Orange. It's good for athlete and everyone. For wholesale and retail supply, call cell number 0770-617-575. Exeter's Best Price Store on Gurley Street and the Old Road Smart Road Junction. We are your cheaper wholesale and retail store.
Easy, when you want some more, I provide. So we start to talk. Come on, going to pop. Put in toto ichiki. Villa living sense in
Are you in search of a place you can get quality petroleum products? Well, I got news for you. Mayoba and Sons Incorporated is the company to meet all your petroleum needs. We are one of Liberia's leading importers and distributor of petroleum products on the Liberian market. We are fully capacitated to deliver your petroleum and diesel products anywhere in Liberia. Mayoba and Sons Incorporated, we do rental of dump trucks, tanker trucks, heavy equipment, D8, front loader, excavator. Our clearing and forwarding agency is fast, reliable, and can deliver your goods on time. Mayoba and Sons have improved the quality of reconstituted distributions and importation by financial institutions empowerment. Our head offices are located at the Garnersville Town Hall Junction on Barnesville Road and Freeport Sigma Compound on the Bourgeois Island. For more information, call us on cell numbers 0886 512 379, 0777 512 379, or 0777 255 030, or email us mayoba, mayoubahs @yahoo.com, or visit our website www.mayobaliberia.com. Our mission is to keep petroleum on the Liberian market stable, effective, and efficient. Our vision is that our presence be felt in the 15 counties with outstanding commitment. Mayoba and Sons, Liberia's pride.
Robbie, why you taking?
I said, darling, you look so worried.
Charles, I'm worried because I don't know where to get stuff for my shop and restaurant.
Oh, come on, man. Haven't you heard about Exeter's Best Price Store on Gurley Street and Smart Road Junction on the Old Road?
Oh no, Charles, tell me about it.
Exeter's Best Price Store got everything for your shop and restaurant. And the good news is that they have reduced the prices of club beer products and imported beverages. So to keep that graduation party, wedding reception, and whatever occasion jumping till the break of dawn, Exeter's Best Price Store is that place for you.
Is that all?
No, they have for the first time introduced on the LIB market Buffalo Revive that comes with 4 different flavors: Cool Blue, Apple Kiwi, Full Red, and Fitness Orange. It's good for athlete and everyone. For wholesale and retail supply, call cell number 0770-617-575. Exeter's Best Price Store on Gurley Street and the Old Road Smart Road Junction. We are your cheaper wholesale and retail store.
He said, when you want some more, I provide it. So we start to talk. Someone said,
Good morning to the peace-loving people of Liberia. Welcome to the August 26, 2024 edition of the program from the Print News on Freedom FM 87.9. This program is brought to you by Crime Stoppers Liberia, Exeter's Best Price Store, and Mayoba and Sons Incorporated. My name is Wendell Nimne, welcoming you to this brand new presentation. And I'm here this morning with Esther Daku. Esther, good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Wendell. Good morning to all of you listening. It's good to be here again on the Monday edition of the program from the Print News. It's good to be here, Wendell.
All right, so that's it. Let's welcome those of you on our Facebook Live. We want to welcome you, those of you by your receivers and following this presentation. Esther and I together, we have in our studio 2 local dailies, the Front Page Africa and the Inquirer newspaper. So interesting stories to share with you on this edition of the Print News. And so let me begin the reading this morning. And it says here, top stories. We're beginning the reading from the Front Page Africa newspaper. Top stories. Regional bloc showing concern. ECOWAS high-level delegation to visit Liberia following ex-President Weah's complaint. And this story is on page 7 Let's get to page 7 for some lines. Okay, I'm trying to get to page 7. Okay, it's not on page 7. It's here on page 8. All right, yes, page 8 has the story. Front page: Africa has learned that a high level delegation from ECOWAS is expected to visit Liberia following a formal complaint lodged by former President George Manneh Weah. On Saturday, ex-President Weah officially reported what he described as an unprovoked attack by the Bouaka Kone administration on the headquarters of his political party, the Coalition for Democratic Change, CDC, to the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS. We are also sent copies of the complaint to key diplomatic missions in Liberia, including the U.S. Embassy, the United Nations, and the European Union, according to sources. These entities have acknowledged receipt of the letter and are closely monitoring the situation. On Thursday, August 22, a drug raid conducted by joint security forces near the CDC's national headquarters in Monrovia escalated into violence when police clashed with CDC partisans. In a letter addressed to Omar Aliyu Toure, president of the ECOWAS Commission, we are, on behalf of the CDC, we are urged ECOWAS to take proactive diplomatic steps to ensure that Liberia's fledgling democracy is not jeopardized by the current administration's misuse of power. He called for ECOWAS intervention to secure the release of partisans and other Liberians who were arrested and detained at the Monrovia Central Prison. Following the ill-fated raid at our headquarters, the government has detained scores of our partisans and other citizens on trumped-up charges. We demand their immediate and unconditional release, we are stated. He criticized the raid, which he said was carried out by Liberian security forces under dubious guise of a drug raid, describing it as a premeditated and callous act of violence, targeting the country's main opposition party. He further accused the Bouaka administration of attempting to undermine political freedoms, disregard the rule of law, and stoke tension in the country. We have noted that a similar incident occurred on August 5, 2024, when heavily armed security forces breached the CDC headquarters. He claimed that these actions are part of a broader strategy by President Joseph Bouaka to diminish the CDC's political influence. During the attack on Thursday, reminiscent of our troubles past, the police fired hundreds of lethal and non-lethal rounds at unarmed civilians whose only crime seems to be their unwavering support for CDC, we are alleged. He added various government security agencies have given conflicting accounts on the raid's purpose, which he believes indicates an attempt to cover up their true motives. We are also highlighted that civil servants perceived to sympathize with the CDC are being harassed and purged from the civil service. Since we have begun openly criticizing the Bouaka Kone administration, the CDC has intensified its scrutiny of the government, accusing it of using excessive force against peaceful protesters. We are outlining these accusations in the letter to the ECOWAS president, citing other transgressions, including the excessive use of force against unarmed civilians, non-prosecution of election-related killings, disregard for attorney laws, political weaponization of prosecutorial powers, and violations of procurement laws. He emphasized that while the CDC has demonstrated its commitment to peace and the rule of law, as evidenced by its peaceful transfer of power, The party and its supporters would not remain passive in the face of these transgressions. We are warned that President Bouaka and his administration are under the illusion that they have an overwhelming mandate to govern as they wish. But true power rests with the people, not with a government that operates outside the law. All stakeholders with knowledge of the Liberian situation have expressed concern over how deeply divided the country remains following the half-fought presidential election. A well-meaning and supposedly experienced leader will prioritize reconciling the nation. Unfortunately, this is not the case with Bouaka, who seems to have been overtaken by absolute power. We are wrote. As a long-term political actor in Liberia, we are stressed President Bouaka should be fully aware of the vices that have previously brought the nation to its knees. He called for leadership that respects democracy and the rule of law, rather than leading the charge against them. In light of President Bouaka's statement to some legislators that he intends to erase the CDC from Liberia's political map, we make it abundantly clear that our party is here to stay and will continue to be a vibrant political force. We will utilize every right guaranteed by the Constitution to ensure our survival. We are declared. He also called on ECOWAS to convey this message to the Bouaka administration and stressed that while the CDC is committed to maintaining peace, it would not tolerate the abuse of its rights. And so, folks, that's it. You listen to the letter written, some excerpt from the letter written to the ECOWAS, informing them about the Bouaka Koun administration disregards to the rule of law. Let's move on with more top stories. War. It says guilty for telling lies. Swiss prosecutors find war crimes investigator Alan White guilty of defamation, subject to appeal. Oh, yes, Alan White is in the news again. Guilty for telling lies is a question mark to this caption. Swiss prosecutor found war crimes court investigator Alan White guilty of defamation and subject to appeal. Let's just take a few lines from there quickly. All right, let's grab a few lines. All right. Alan White, a former chief of investigation for the Special Court of Sierra Leone that presided over the trial of former President Charles Taylor, has been found guilty of defamation by Swiss prosecutors. The verdict, which is subject to an appeal, comes after the Swiss war crimes advocacy group, Civitas Maxima, claimed in the court documents that White accused Civitas Maxima and the Global Justice Reject Project of bribing witnesses in war crimes trials involving alleged perpetrators of the Liberian Civil War. Over 90% of sentences in Swiss legal cases are handed down by a prosecutor rather than a judge. This is because the Swiss system relies heavily on sentence orders, a controversial but cost-effective procedure. Warner and a Swiss human rights lawyer specialized in the defense of victims of armed conflicts, founder and director of Civitas Maxima, an international network of lawyers and investigators based in Geneva that since 2012 represents victims of mass crimes in their attempts to obtain justice. Warner is director of the organization Civitas Maxima, which provides assistance and legal representation to victims of international crimes. Background: on 10 November 2014, Swiss authorities arrested Aliyu Kosia, who was suspected of involvement in massacres in Liberia between 1993 and 1995. During the Liberian Civil War, Aliyu Kosia was suspected of being a commandant of the United Liberation Movement of Liberia for Democracy. In its judgment of 18 June 2021, the Swiss Federal Criminal Court in Bellinzona, Switzerland, sentenced Corsia to 20 years in prison, in particular for ordering the killings of civilians and soldiers, for rape, and for ordering cruel treatment of civilians. During these proceedings, several victims were represented by Alan Warner. However, during the hearing, Aliyu Corsia's Anthony Dimitri Ginola, Anthony in Saint Emir, submitted an email that he received on 19 July 2021 at his email address. From Alan White, the content of the email was as follows. The charges were based upon information provided by Civitas Maxima, headed by Alan Warner, and Hassability Global Justice Research Project in Monrovia, which is financed by Warner and Warner and Ability, became friends during the Charles Taylor trial. So they have been making millions of euros pursuing cases, principally immigration fraud cases, against individuals from outside of Liberia. Their cases have been suspect based on false and coach testimony of witnesses recruited in Liberia, and in return offer something of value such as money, witness protection for life in Europe and elsewhere. And in Switzerland, Mohamed Kroma was reportedly provided asylum in return for providing false testimony against your client Aliyu Corsia. I've personally spoke to a couple of witnesses that said Ability offered them money and relocation to a first world country if they will provide false testimony against Corsia. The prosecution said the defendant in criminal proceedings implied that the aggrieved party, mainly for the purpose of earning money, recruited false witnesses in serious criminal cases and then coached them with some promises to give false testimonies in court. Well, that's it. According to the Swiss prosecutor, they have found war crimes investigator Alan White guilty of defamation. And then lastly, fallen queen, former Miss Liberia, Annie Bodrick, is dead. How many of you remember the name Annie Bodrick? All right. Some of us, we remember this name very, very well. So that's it. Fallen queen, former Miss Liberia, Annie Bodrick, is dead. You ask Prince Johnson about Annie Bodrick, he will tell you. All right, about the execution of Michael Doe at the Hotel Africa. Prince Johnson is 100% aware of Annie Bodrick. All right, so let's get to some big stories. HPX offers budgetary support to establish National Rail Authority outside of ratified agreement. Still pulling the strings. In addition, I would like to confirm with you that HPX is prepared to provide budgetary support to the government of Liberia for the formation and initial operations of the National Rail Authority under a structured payment arrangement to be agreed on the successful conclusion of our access agreement. This support is intended to demonstrate to the government of Liberia that HPX stands ready to support the government of Liberia to ensure that the National Rail Authority has the necessary financial resources to ensure a fair and equitable rail management system for all users under the highest of international industry standards and transparency. Rowan Barnes, President and CEO of High Power Exploration Incorporated. And then lastly, for the front page Africa, government scrambles after World Bank loan suspension as IMF extended credit facility deadline approaches. Looming economic crisis is a question mark. The deadline to submit the ECF proposal to the IMF board is September 25, 2024. However, this process risks being overturned if there is no resolution to issues arising from surrounding monetary policy decisions taken by the Central Bank of Liberia, CBL. One of such issues is the CBL's involvement in the 3.5 million case between Bloom Bank, formerly Global Bank, and Calando Incorporated, in which CBL had issued an indemnity or guarantee against the probability of Bloom Bank losing the case. Eventually, Bloom Bank lost the case, and the CBL was compelled to provide the US 3.5 million on behalf of Bloom Bank, says the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning. All right, so let's take few lines from the assertion made by a former presidential candidate. Right, Liberia is bigger than any one person or party. Who is saying this? Former presidential candidate Clarence Monuba condemns recent CDC and LMP clash. Let's take a few lines from what he said. Former presidential candidate and standard-bearer of the Liberia National Union, Dr. Clarence K. Monuba, has strongly condemned the appalling acts of violence and lawlessness at the headquarters of the Congress for Democratic Change on August 22, 2024. The situation grossly affected health, social mobility, and the already struggling economy. Dr. Monuba, in a press statement over the weekend address from his party headquarters in Sinca, said that it is these types of actions, placing personal interests and party politics over the nation, that have led to Liberia being one of the least developed countries in the world. According to Dr. Monuba, the actions of the August 22, 2024 grossly affected health, social mobility, and the already struggling economy. We are fighting for a new Liberia, a nation that we can all be proud of because of our collective actions, sacrifice, and love for the country. A new Liberia where everyone would be respected and treated with importance. Some, however, continue to take their leadership responsibilities as ways to score political points, gain undeserved sympathy, or score political debts and exact retribution when we have a nation on its knees and slowly dying because the average person cannot afford enough food, proper health care, or live in a safe community. We have to be sensitive to these national concerns. CDC ran and governed on a mantra of change for hope, and the UP recently adopted Linus' mantra of a new Liberia as its official slogan for the July 26th celebration. So let them remember that these are not mere slogans, but a real guiding ethos that the Liberian people demand of our leadership. The chaotic scenes and, to be frank, nonsense at the CDC headquarters, where innocent people and private properties were affected and brought our country to a complete standstill, represent a dangerous escalation that threatens to drag our nation back into the abyss of conflict and instability. We should be discussing why both CDC and UP-led governments, who have continually led this country for the past 20 years, have allowed government officials, including lawmakers' salaries, to skyrocket, while our teachers, nurses, doctors, and civil servants' compensation remains stagnant. We should not, or we should be discussing why no single person in Liberia is in jail because of corruption. We should be discussing why it is that most public schools and health facilities in this country have no electricity, running water, or proper libraries, or why our farmers are not supported to produce more food and other agriculture produce. We should be discussing how we can redefine our mineral sector to add value for job creation. Instead, however, we are here discussing whether CDC has the right to defend their national headquarters from a supposed drug raid, or whether the UP government should be witch hunting members of the CDC. We need a new Liberia that would not experience what happened last week, because nothing that happened last week got us closer to the country that we, the Liberian people, deserve. At 177 years old and over 20 years post conflict, Liberia is in trouble and we continue to overlook it. And that is why this country is way behind other countries that are way behind, instead of us spending time talking about strengthening the rule of law, where everyone will respect the law and the law will respect everyone, where everyone would trust the courts regardless of social and economic status. Instead of us spending time talking about positive change for the greater good, we are discussing political parties. One where some of their members think that they can abide by their laws and decide when they should be policed. In CDC and other parties that have some members who think they can have retribution because they are back in power. In the form of UP, if this attitude remains, only politics and conflict over national development will occur if we continue with this two-party system that has been in Liberia over the past 2 decades. Well, those were the assertions made by former presidential candidate Clarence Monubah of the Liberian National Union. All right, so we stop it right there and send controls to Esther to bring us few developments from the Inquirer newspaper.
Right. The Inquirer newspaper is right on my deck, and we will take some lines from here. But let me adjust my headphone quickly.
Okay, just before you bring the reading, Gus, you can take a minute quickly and just greet the audience so Esther can continue the reading.
Exactly.
Good morning, Wendell. Good morning, Esther. Good morning, Liberia. Gus Corma. Glad to be here. I've been listening to the readings. They're splendid.
Okay. So, of course, the Inquirer newspaper is right here on my desk. The top story says, "Don't allow your associates incite violence. Flag Day orator accurately cautions we are." It says these 177 Flag Day orator Alubangi King accurately tells former President George Weah not to allow his associates incite violence in the country. Madam Akirili, who once served as the country's foreign minister, also urged Weah to take immediate actions to prevent his associates from getting further involved in violence and ensure the safety and peace is sustained for all Liberians in Liberia. At the Flag Day celebration, where she served as keynote speaker with the team, the flag, a symbol of one Liberia, at the Centennial Pavilion in Monrovia. She emphasized the importance of peace, coexistence, and called on all political leaders to reaffirm from using violence as a means to achieve their goals. Where recession comes as tension continued to rise in Monrovia following the recent clash between supporters of the opposition Coalition for Democratic Change and the police at its party headquarters in Congo Town. But in oration, Madam Akirudi further condemning the use of violence, she called on former President Weah to work with the government, ensuring the perseverance and maintenance of the country's already fragile peace. Weah, the world heal you when you peacefully turned power to President Bouaka in January of this year, respecting the will of the Liberian people. We will stop you there. Government never defaulted on IDA obligations. Finance rejects to WB on settle debt saga. The Ministry of Finance has revealed that Liberia did not default on a settlement of its outstanding obligations to the International Development Association, as being reported by some media institutions. The IDA is the leading financing institution of the World Bank Group, for low-income countries and provides lower interest loans and grants to promote sustainable economic growth and reduce poverty in the finance ministry released issue over the weekend. It reported that completion is on page 10. Let's complete it right here. Some more lines. Okay, what is this story? It says about US 400, that's 44.3 million has been paid by the administration owner Joseph Boakai since January 2024 after taking over as president of Liberia. Also, the amount includes US 23 million outstanding from 2023 that was not paid by the previous administration and US 21 million out of the scheduled external debt payments due in 2024. As the payments to the IDA so far stand at US 12.19 million. Recently, it was reported that the World Bank has suspended Liberia access to crucial funding after the country defaulted on its payment obligation for 60 days. We will leave you there. Let's look at more stories. Boakai to certificate Liberia's digital project candidates. It is right here, and we see the photograph of youth right here, young women, and of course men are right here photographed on the front page of the Inquirer newspaper, and we see at the back the banner says youth capacity building. But let's look at more. Boakai wants NBL recommit to community transformation. It says President Joseph Boakai has called on members of the National Business National Business League to reaffirm their commitment to transforming their societies and communities in a way that promotes development and progress. Speaking at the 124th National Black Business Conference on August 23rd, 2024 in Atlanta, Georgia, USA, President Boakai President Boakai highlighted the importance of collaborative efforts between the government and the private sector in achieving sustainable growth. According to him, Liberia is open for business and is committed to fostering a business-friendly environment to encourage investments across various sectors. He stated that his government recently launched what they have termed the IRS agenda, focusing on investment and development in agriculture, roads and infrastructure, the rule of law, education, health, and sanitation and tourism. Liberia offers substantial opportunities for purchasing land for development or agricultural purposes, with vast tract of available land, including arable land. Investors can engage in land development projects that support both agricultural production and urban expansion, he added. In the agriculture sector, Liberia's fertile land and favorable climate offer vast opportunities for agricultural investments, particularly in rice production. Liberia imports a significant amount of its rice stock, creating a crucial need for local production and value addition in downstream processing, he explained. We'll leave you here and look at more stories. We'll move to the back page of the Inquirer newspaper. Liberia's education system has improved. Catholic school principal hails government. The newly appointed principal of the St. Joseph Catholic High School in Sayanu County, Augustine S. Young, has recognized the substantial progress in Liberia's education sector under the leadership of President Joseph Boakai. Young also commended the government through Ministry of Education for its commitment to supporting and promoting quality education across the country, ensuring that the citizenry gets the needed and quality education so desired. Speaking moments after Liberia's 177th Flag Day celebration in Sayanu County over the weekend at Greenfield City Hall on Saturday, Young said the MOE has established a standard requiring all education officers, that is the EOs, across Liberia to be experienced, trained, and qualified professionals. He believed that said initiative will significantly enhance the quality of education nationwide emphasize the importance of high quality early childhood education. We will stop you there. LRA conducts tax clinic for EU staffs. LRA conducts tax clinic for EU staffs. That's one of the stories there at the back page. Finally, for the back page of this paper, government leaders travelize national event. This year's Flag Day celebration witnessed what seemed to be a departure for traditional or tradition following the absence of key government officials from the historic ceremony. Those absent were President Joseph Boakai, who was currently in Atlanta, Georgia, the United States of America, attending the 124th National Black Business Conference, Vice President Jeremiah Cohn in India, representing the president at another forum, and Senate Pro Tem Yombli Kanga Lawrence, who is in the U.S. attending another event. On February 11, 2024, the Armed Forces Day, a national holiday, as proclaimed, was never held in Seoul. This also marks another significant moment in the country's history where, for the first time in memory, a sitting president, vice president, and Senate Pro Tem were all absent for a celebration. Many have since analyzed that this is not just about the absence of the president or the vice president and the pro tem or the cancellation of the Armed Forces Day event, but it has been recorded as events that were unprecedentedly celebrated in Boakai's first year regime. Some diplomats in attendance and Liberians who observed the day from their homes were all wondering if national holidays are significant or should be dignified when leaders themselves seem not to honor its existence. So far, so good. These are all, and we see St. Teresa Convent School wins 177th National Flag Day Parade. So far, I think these are all we have on our decks this morning.
Congratulations to the St. Teresa Convent for that, splendid performance on the 24th of August. So thank you very much, Esther, for the splendid reading. Let's recap the stories we brought you this morning. And we started with top stories. Regional bloc showing concern. ECOWAS high delegation, that's high-level delegation to visit Liberia following ex-president Wia's complaint. And another story says, guilty for telling lies is a question mark to this caption. Swiss prosecutors find war crimes investigator Alan White guilty of defamation, subject to appeal. And lastly, for top stories, fallen queen, former Miss Liberia Annie Broderick is dead. And these are the bonus stories we're about to read. HPX offers budgetary support to establish National Rail Authority outside of ratified agreement. Still polling screens is it. And then lastly, for the front page of the front page Africa, government scrambles after World Bank loan suspension as IMF extended credit facility deadline approaches. Looming economic crisis, we see a big question mark today. The deadline to submit the ECF proposal to the IMF board is September 25, 2024. However, this process risks being overturned if there is no resolution to issues arising from surrounding monetary policy decisions taken by the Central Bank of Liberia, CBL. One of such issues is the CBL's involvement in the U.S. $3.5 million case between Bloom Bank, formerly Global Bank, and Calando Incorporated, in which CBL has issued an indemnity or guarantee against the probability of Bloom Bank losing the case. Eventually, Bloom Bank lost the case and the CBL was compelled to provide the U.S. $3.5 million on behalf of Bloom Bank, so says the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning. All right, that's the front page. The Inquirer newspaper. Don't allow your associates incite violence. Flag Day orator Akinrele cautions we are. And government defaulted on IDA obligations. Finance reacts to World Bank unsettled debt saga. and Bwaka to certificate Liberia's digital project candidates. Lastly, for the front page of the Inquirer newspaper, Bwaka wants MBL recommit to community transformation. To the back page, Liberia's education system has improved. Catholic school principals hails government. LRA conducts tax clinic for EU staffs. And government leaders travelize national event. And those are all the stories we brought you this morning. Let's go and take our break. When we come back, we join our partner, Gus Koma, in the US of A. So those of you watching us, you can drop your comments in our comment section. Esther will go through them bit by bit. But let's take word from our sponsors.
Why you taking?
I said, darling, you look so worried.
Charles, I'm worried because I don't know where to get stuff for my shop and restaurant.
Oh, come on, man. Haven't you heard about Exeter's Best Price Store on Gurley Street and Smart Road Junction on the Old Road?
Oh, no, Charles. Tell me about it.
Exeter's Best Price Store got everything for your shop and restaurant. And the good news is that they have reduced the prices of club beer products and imported beverages. So to keep that graduation party, wedding reception, and whatever occasion jumping till the break of dawn, Exeter's Best Price Store is that place for you.
Is that all?
No, they have for the first time introduced on the LIB market Buffalo Revive that comes with 4 different flavors: Cool Blue, Apple Kiwi, Flu Red, and Fitness Orange. It's good for athlete and everyone. For wholesale and retail supply, call cell number 0770-617-575. Exeter's Best Price Store on Gurley Street and the Old Road Smart Road Junction. We are your cheaper wholesale and retail store.
He said when you want some.
Are you in search of the place you can get quality petroleum products? Well, I got news for you. Mayoba and Sons Incorporated is the company to meet all your petroleum needs. We are one of Liberia's leading importers and distributor of petroleum products on the Liberian market. We are fully capacitated to deliver your petroleum and diesel products anywhere in Liberia. Mayoba and Sons Incorporated, we do rental of dump trucks, tanker trucks, heavy equipment, D8, front loader, excavator. Our clearing and forwarding agency is fast, reliable, and can deliver your goods on time. Mayoba and Sons have improved the quality of reconstituted distributions and importation by financial institutions empowerment. Our head offices are located at the Garnersville Town Hall Junction on Barnesville Road and Freeport Sigma Compound on the Bushwa Island. For more information, call us on cell numbers 0886 512-379, 0777-512-379, or 0777-255-030, or email us mayoba, mayoubahs @yahoo.com, or visit our website www.mayobaliberia.com. Our mission is to keep petroleum on the Liberian market stable, effective, and efficient. Our vision is that our presence be felt in the 15 counties with outstanding commitment. Mayoba and Sons, Liberia's pride.
Hello. I want to talk about violence. More violence is indiscriminate. It can happen for any reason and to anyone. Until we do something to stop the surge of vigilante-style justice in this country, none of us will be safe. My Liberia is Liberia of hope. In my Liberia, it is possible. Violence is not part of my Liberia. Violence leads to property damage, injury, or even death, as we have seen in recent months in several parts of Liberia, including Monrovia. Talk to people in your community about violence. Stand up against mob justice. Be a community hero. Liberia is all that we have. We must all unite to uphold the rule of law. Thanks for listening. This is Old Man Sam Simon.
Oh yes, I tell you what a sound message there from the head of Crime Stoppers Liberia, Old Man Sam Sion. And just before we bring Gus in, we just want to say yesterday was the 7 day feast of Mother Mayuba Krumah, the mother of the CEO of Mayuba and Sons Incorporated, Mr. Amadou Sharif. Mother, uh, 7 days was on yesterday. The feast, 7 day feast was yesterday. So again, we want to say our condolences to the Krumah and Sharif family, especially the CEO of Mayuba and Sons Incorporated, Amadou Sharif. All right, let's go to our man Gus. Gus, you've been there and listening. Let's hear from you.
Yeah. Again, thank you. The letter by the president, I think, was very, very welcome and timely because, again, uh, this government, the former government, President Weah's government, they did everything to prove that, listen, he was beyond himself. He took power due to the citizens and the people. And when he lost power due to those same people, he felt the need to adhere to the mandate of the people and give power back to who people thought would bring change to Liberia. And as we can see, it's not happening. And the basics of it is just this, the simple stuff, the rules of law, working togetherness, just making sure that when there's a government is continuity, it starts with also respecting the people that are left there, especially an older gentleman. That is the saddest thing for somebody coming from Lofa. That's what I'm really, really, really disappointed in. Because that's one thing we're not known for. We're known for respect. I see President Walker walking around when a woman shakes his hands, he reach out and grab, those things. President Walker is well aware of leadership. I don't care the age of that person. If the person is a Kolubai, President Walker, you know how we treat them. We know how we treat town chiefs, former town chiefs, leaders. And the way they have gone about things since their ascendancy is rather interesting. I mean, nobody say you shouldn't do your investigation, you shouldn't do your whatever that CDCs will call witch hunting or whatever. You can still do those and still be nice to people, because you're the elder in the room, supposedly, and you're supposed to teach people how to be cordial to one another. I mean, from everything I've heard, this president have not even met his former colleague. He hasn't even reached out any overture for sit down and dialogue and all of that. But what he keep forgetting is this: we come from a country that, let's be honest. I've told people I'm not sure if this government how they're going to handle the midterm election. President Weah did all of this. The guy that was supposedly not experienced, don't know how to do, govern or do whatsoever, governed this country for 6 unbroken years with no issues, with not thousands, but probably 50 or 60 protests or more. No issue, no challenges. Now, one day did they go to the ANC headquarters, CDC headquarters, and all of those. You guys put conglomerated all of the political parties against one party in that Liberia. And they still maintain peace. They never in their lifetime went against you. Well, all of you guys coming together. The president continued to carry on the Liberian people duty. No issues. You guys come in, not even a year, we've had all of these issues where you having problem with protests, having issues with all of those things that you guys were chairheading here in the last 6 years. It's rather concerning, and I'm glad the president reaching out to regional leaders and letting them know, because at some point you can only agitate people so long. People will get crazy. People will go after them. And I mean, it's not a threat, it's a fact. That's just the way it goes. You cannot go after people for so long without them reacting. And the reaction is what you want to avoid. And we're calling on the people that run this government to be pretty aware of that. Reaction of people that are already struggling. It's not easy. It's not fun. It could lead us back into bad places. And for those of us that don't want to see that, we're asking this president to get his act together and realize that these people, these de facto leaders that he has, that are telling him to do the same thing, to do all the nonsense, they better stop. When I hear, what is it, I can say Benki or whatever, I think she was a finance minister under Madam Sadiq once, right?
Commerce, she served as commerce, she served as foreign minister.
Yeah. So when I hear
Ole Banki King Akinrele.
Yes. When I hear her talking about, the president should manage his people from blah, 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 fragile peace, and acknowledging what he did and whatnot, why don't you have a statement to the guy that you represent? Why don't you have a statement to the president, the current president, and let him know the importance of diplomacy? Because supposedly she's a diplomat. So where were you, madam? Is it because of the same old thing? People like you guys have continued to live on the back of us, the ordinary Liberians. Where were you? How come you haven't said anything to the president who you represented? Because you were on that stage. You could have taken the opportunity. Instead of going after the victims, you should have gone after the perpetrator. You were on stage. You could have reached out to the current president and told him, look, these people that you are agitating, if you're not careful, your next 5 years would be very unsettling. And it's a fact. I'm telling you, if they're not careful, it will be very unsettling. Because from all we're hearing in Liberia, the struggle is there. People are having a hard time meeting ends meet and all of those things. And you're gonna keep agitating them, continue to. Because if you continue to, pretty soon you will have to deal with what George Weah dealt with. Okay? George Weah, former president of Liberia, dealt with a lot. But George Weah, being the son of Liberia, or a man that lived the lifestyle, some of these people knew how to handle them. We saw it. The people that you fired today, we know why you fired them, but you don't understand, because you don't understand what it takes for these people to be able to put food on their family's table with those $100 or $150 or whatever they were getting paid at those very ministries. To you, let's get rid of them and pay people more money. We'll find out here soon, you know. I think the next thing was that Alan White situation, conviction. I mean, I don't take too much weight into it, in the sense that, I mean, those countries, what I like about them is they follow the rules of law. Alan White can go back and do his thing, and whatever would be dropped or conviction may be upheld. It doesn't bear any weight on Liberia. I think what matters to me right now is just the way Joseph Boakai and his team is running the country. I don't think we spend a lot of time on Alan White. He's really not a factor in our body politics. I've always said this, you know, foreigners should not be. I'm not worried about them. You know, so that's about it for me. I don't know if there's another topic you guys want to discuss.
Well, I think those are all, you know, trending issues you spoke about, and I mean, we don't have the luxury of time, but I just want to say that, you know, the national orator did not speak as a national leader, because if something occurred, you need to investigate. You cannot just shift blame on one party. All right, what she did by accusing the former president of inciting his people against about violence, I think she was wrong, you know, because CDC headquarters was there. CDC did not invite the police, neither the LDEA. They went there according to them.
I mean, they haven't done anything for her anyway. Let her move
Yeah,
her head.
so they
Sorry.
got information. They got information that drug was
This-
somewhere, and we all saw the video. We all saw what happened at the headquarters of the CDC. So you, as a national leader, to take the podium and accuse one party, I don't think it was fine at all. It wasn't, because people like Olibagan King Aguilera, these people that want us to always remind them of the past. Every wealth you got in this country, you stole it from the people of this country. The wealth that you got today, all the public buildings you own today, you go to the King building, you cancel the King building. We know how you accumulated all of these properties to the detriment of the Liberian people.
Exactly.
Then you went, as a matter of fact, you ascended to 2 highest position in this country: Secretary of Commerce, Secretary of Foreign Affairs, what we call Minister of Foreign Affairs. You serve in those positions. What did you do when you were serving in those positions? What did your administration bring to this country for you to just jump on the national stage to go accuse one person of inciting violence?
When people do these things, it tells you that they're looking for favor, right? Because several times in this country, there were a lot of things that happened that we expected them to speak up about.
Thank you, my
But never
sister.
done it.
Mhm.
President Weah was denied entering the VIP lodge.
Yeah.
What did she say about it?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
these people, when they're just trying to buy favor from people
But
that
you know,
can give them
But
jobs and
Esther
stuff.
and Gus, you know, everything that is happening in this country, the president is aware.
Of course.
Joseph Boakai is the one instructing his people to do what they are doing
Mhm.
because he is the president.
Of course.
The first time, like you said,
Mhm.
the VIP lodge, he did not say a word.
Mm-mm.
How will he say a word when he's not even speaking to the former immediate president? I don't understand why somebody of Waka age would behave like that. After there was a peaceful transition, we all saw in this country how President Weah transferred this country to Joseph Boakai.
The man is an angry winner. That's how you call him. Angry. Even though you've won the presidency, you are still
Stay
angry.
angry.
Angry over
For
what?
Why are you stay angry? Why are you proceeding with the country in this form and manner? I just don't understand for Olibagan King Aguilera to take the podium and just accuse one person. Can you imagine this? This is I don't know where this hit is coming from. I just don't know where this hit is coming from.
No, Esther said it though.
Similar-
The hate is coming from favor. The
Yeah.
hate is coming from favor. Again,
Similar thing the information minister did. He did not investigate properly because he feels he's the spokesperson for the government. He came and just pointed finger at the former president.
Mhm.
Can you imagine this? Jared
yeah,
Limit,
but the
yeah.
information minister, at least I get he works for the freaking government, right? But for her, like Esther said, except if she's won some favor, she wants into government again, because
kind of favor,
it seems like this is the only place these people tend to
But you
thrive,
see,
you know.
people like Jerry Limit Pierre there. Pierre, you know that I know you very well. So some of the things that you people are doing in this country, and nobody will be afraid of you people. Nobody must feel or think that they are more Liberian than the other. Some of you are just privileged to serve in those positions. We know how you came to this country. We know what you went through to come and take this information minister job that you are serving today. We know what you went through. You couldn't even afford a ticket. We got all that information. We even know the car that want to pick you up from the airport. We got all this information. So why you're preaching, you're saying we don't want to be preaching divisive politics here. We're dividing the people here, but you're forgetting to know that the government you support is dividing the country. See the way you went at the headquarters there. You say you went to search somebody whom you got an intel that drugs is there. In this country, for my little man sense, if you get an information on a particular person, that this person is so and so person. This person is doing drugs business in your house. What you need to do if you don't have a search and a seizure warrant, what you do is that you keep surveillance. You keep surveillance on the person until you can get that, a search and seizure warrant. Then you can move into the person's house. In fact, the person that carrying that information, their information will be accompanying on that search and seizure warrant.
Of course.
That you got the information, but you didn't do it. You just went on the people. What are drugs you caught there? Where's the evidence? You want to raid drugs. Where's the evidence? Did you show any drugs that were caught? In fact, the possibility is that they can go there and put drugs in the people place and say, we caught the drugs there. Why are these things happening? So was it a bad thing for President Weah to relinquish power? In other African countries, they would challenge 17,000 votes. Most especially, you're talking about the Cuban, they would challenge it. But because of President Weah's peaceful nature, this is why Liberia is going through what she's going through today. Joseph Boakai, he's an elder. He's of my father's age, my late father. If my father was alive, he and Boakai would be of the same age or older than Boakai. But I would not, Boakai should know better. And that's one of the worst things for you to say to an elder. You're supposed to know better. But Boakai, you listen to Josiah Joga from CSA, he said everything he's doing, the president is in the know. So they also told Olimbaki King accurately, when you go on that podium, you should point accusing finger at the former president. So what did she say to the government herself? The government that is in charge. What did she say to them? Nothing. She just went and accused the former president of inciting his people. You're already dividing the country. You're already dividing this country. And the thing that you're looking for, the day it busts, all of us will smell it. Every one of us will smell it. Not one person. Some of you think that you're like the other day I was saying, you think you're hurting people, you're taking them out of jobs. You yet feel that one person you're taking out of job, forgetting to know that person got dependents. They're watching you, the community you live in, people watching you. They know every move that you people are making. So when you're hurting other people and you're celebrating it, you think it's all to it? No. Some of you have to be very careful. This is a very small country. This country is very small. We don't want to go back to the days of jungle justice. We are tired of war in this country. People have rebuilt their lives and everything. People are moving ahead. But the way how the current leadership is proceeding is wrong. You cannot move into people's property and say you go there to go search for drugs. Where's the drug that you want to search for? Let's take the comments and let's take a few calls and go from here.
Of course.
But the way things are going is bad. Our country now, economic business, the economy is shaking, everywhere shaking. People even get money to send their children to school now. People still struggling how they're going to get money to send their kids to school. All these things they're thinking about, and you're there, you're doing other things to, put them into more worries, which is not right.
No, it's not.
Go ahead with the comments, Extra.
All right, from our comment section, we have Juju Wong. He says, good morning. I'm following live from Johnsonville. Stanley Sherry says, watching from Michael Sovo, resident in Brewerville City. Darlington Rule says, good morning. Watching from New Georgia Estate. Rose Russell says, good morning, guys. Paul Jala says, thanks for the great job, guys. Gay Caesar Divine Grace Bason Jr. says, good morning, guys. I am following from ONU Matadi Junction. Otto says, I am following from Bannersville. We have Randall Wallaby. He says, hi from Minnesota, USA. We have James Lamy. He says, good morning, Freedom FM. We have Jared Tima says, good morning and good afternoon. I'm following from Ongos, that Ogun State. Lagos, Nigeria. Thanks for always keeping us updated. Stanley Sharif again says, secondly, a pleasant good morning to my my loves, caring people of my hometown called Boo Hill Town, Pokpa District, Grand Cape, my county, Western Liberia. And good morning to my favorite radio station, Freedom FM, in the nation capital. Freedom FM did I hear that Liberia is expecting high delegates based on a complaint filed by the former president of Liberia, George Weah? If so, then is welcoming because on the ECOWAS, we, the sedition, hopefully are waiting for their side of the story. We have Romeo Colley. He says, good morning, Freedom FM family. I'm Omeo, watching from Bandi community residents in Kakata City, Magibi County. Christian Singway says the Liberian National Police needs to refrain from always invading the headquarters of the Coalition for Democratic Change. It is absolutely unscrupulous and unacceptable. This has the propensity of threatening the peace, security, and stability of our common patrimony in Liberia. And he again says, I'm following this illustrious conversation closely from my Capitol building office. Ezekiel Newman Johnson says, good morning, Freedom FM Radio, watching from Chicken Soup Factory. Thanks for the show. Diety Talk Part says, good morning, Freedom Family. I am watching from Omega Market CDT Project. Honorable George Watkins Jr. says, good morning, everyone. I'm following from a comfort zone in District 13, Montserrat County, Liberia. We have Lawrence Fogby Sobsu Pico says, good morning, guys. I'm watching from New Crew Town. We have Gay Caesar Divine Grace Basson Jr. again says, thanks to President Weah for taking that step of informing our neighboring countries about the problem Bwaka and his team are creating. And Gay again says, happy pre-birthday to my beloved brother Omar Scott Warrior. He says, Henry Dumbo Hill says, good morning and thanks for the show, family. And JMB Zombies says, the Mikad boss lacks journalism. He always speaking in his Unity Party voice. And Brabi Mba says, good morning, Freedom FM. I am following live from the Bucas Yellow Machine, capital Monrovia. With all of the happenings in the country, why is President Baka tight-lipped? Disrespect to President Weah at the airport, the purchasing of the equipment in disregard to proper procedure, ignoring court order by arbitrarily dismissing turning officials and civil servants based on partisan line, partisan police attacking CDC headquarters. President Bwaka must be careful with those imported. Okay, the completion is not here. We cannot see the completion. JV Zombie again said that lady is only useful to Unity Party government and not to Liberia. And again say Pia is very rude. This government is discounted globally. Pia say if you protest, then you hate the government. We have Augustine Tyler. He says, watching you from Baltimore, Maryland, USA. Mary Toole says, good morning, my Freedom FM family. I am following from New Georgia State, I think. This 79-year-old, not really yet. Ketele Tabaki says he's watching. We have Quay Joshua says, good afternoon, family. I am watching from GSA Road. Junior Jekwa says, good morning, watching you guys from Minnesota, USA. Angeline Davis says, watching from Gaytown. JMB returned with 0. Zengza Yinkan says, good afternoon, family. I'm watching you guys from Accra, Ghana. We have Pretty Goosey Meek says, good morning. I'm listening from Logan Town, SDA community. Gabriel. Son of KOK says, good morning. I'm Isaac Woosen, following from Do community. Firstly, I want to send my condolences to the former Miss Liberia family to the issue of that orator. I was informed she resigned from government because of mental issue. We should not give her resident attention. I think she has resolved her mental issue in trying to farm her way back to government. Last night, the reckless Information Minister was on Spoon, and one of the co-hosts who they refer to as Sedition tried to ask him some critical questions. And Benjamin J. Buema, as Ben J. Buema says, "Good morning, Freedom Family." And again, son of KOK says, "Good." Okay, we've already read that. And Joshua says, "Joe Bwaka have to talk to his police to stop what they are doing to this country." Sylvester Kuhn says, "The constraint to come online to let you guys know that we can't get we can't get the radio, your guys, from us on the radio." I don't understand what you're writing. Can you write it over, Sylvester Kuhn? We have Victor Weir. He says, "Good morning, family. I'm watching from Charlotte, North Carolina." We have Stanley Sharif. He says, "If Waka won better Liberia, we will give him 8." And Charlie Go Masha says, "Good morning, following from JNB Home." Progress Orita Johnson says, "Good afternoon, guys." Son of the KOK says, "Try to ask him some critical question at the point he decided not to answer any question coming from the individual. He acts very reckless and disrespectful to the co-host." Well, we have a lot of other comments. Nisha Suya says, "Good afternoon, Freedom FM. These people are using the Kiakura Koto theory." And Progress Rita Johnson says, "JMB returned with MOU." And Obenji says, "Joe Waka is like Manchester United lost, spoiling our money." And Sylvester
Hey,
Kuhn
come on,
says-
man. Manchester.
Okay, and Stanley says, "JMB not serious at all. Gay Caesar Divine Grace Basim Jr. says, "Guys, thanks for the show, but this so-called rescue is taking our country backward." Sylvester Kuhn, okay, you said that, oh man, away at, gosh.
Sylvester, you need to take your time when you write, you proofread, and then you send, all right? So that you can avoid, some missteps. But those are all the comments we have. For the remaining 8 minutes we have, we can take your calls. Call us on 0776 104 104, 086 500 104. The WhatsApp line is +231 86 500 104. And the female line is 0770 297 All right, let's go to the phone lines because of time. Please, you have to be very careful because of time. We're not going to run you into all of our time. Well, let's go and take this person. Hello?
Good morning, Wendell. Good morning, Esther. Good morning, Ross.
Good morning. I see you, LIB Pekin.
Yeah, Wendell, this is Victor Weir, calling for Charlotte, North Carolina.
Hey, Vic, what's up, my man? How you doing?
I'm good, and you, my brother?
I'm fine, thank you. Go ahead, guys. Vic, let's hear your contribution.
First of all, thank you for giving me the opportunity to be on your show this morning. I had the opportunity to watch the show. To listen to the show all day this morning.
Okay.
I'll start with 2 parables. The Liberian people say, the child that say, the man will not sleep, that child said will not sleep.
Mm-hmm.
You continue pouring water in the bottle, at some point it will spill over.
So true.
You can't continue to oppress the opposition and think they will sit there and don't do anything about it. Then you got all these so-called government officials going to national program and talking complete nonsense. You forgetting to know that the CDC were minding their business in the face when they went with some bogus search warrant talking about they were looking for drug dealer. If you go do a search, the person you are looking for, you don't find it, you claim they ran into their party headquarters. First of all, you should be talking to your superior and they should come up with a better plan instead of trying to carry armed men to one of the major opposition party in the country.
Exactly.
And you have Dr. Harry Mulbar, who I have a lot of respect for, trying to blame CDC in this whole thing. Why is it nobody is blaming this government and Liberia National Police? I'm surprised. I got so much respect for Greg and the Liberia National Police. I'm surprised to see what is going on. They're being used as a tool by this president and his co-host to pretty much destabilize the country. With just how election, the country is completely divided. You won a country of 5 million people. You won by only 17,000 votes, and you hear arguments. Do you know what will happen if President we are only make a mistake one day and tell his citizens to get on the street and protest?
Okay.
These people need to grow up and stop being complete, idiots, and try to work with President Weah. Nobody asking them to give his former government official job.
Okay.
But respect them. They are citizens of the country. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Vic. Thank you so much for your contribution. All right, let's go and take 2 or 3 more calls, and then we wrap up. Let's go to this person. Let's take this person. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon. Blama Kamara, go ahead. No time. Just go ahead and make your point. You can greet the audience and take a meeting and make your contribution.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. And I say what's up to the Nigerian people. We brought over here. We actually pointing on the issues of this government. The government don't want to settle the issue about the bread and butter, but indeed they are just provoking CDC or other people in the country to ensure that they jeopardize the high MPs that we have. And it's wrong. Why would we have regular government officials, like even the orator of this Gonta? Nothing better she said. Even she spoke against justice, because you're talking about the impeachment of former Chief Justice. Can you imagine that? And it was done legally. So what power of course that you have to come and speak against that? Like you are ill-treated and you went through investigation and you should have found guilty before putting up the number. It's issues that you should bring as a national orator to announce to Nigerian people, and then we have a regular information minister without no investigation. You come and shift blame on opposition leader. Former President, we have remained one of the peaceful Nigerian ever we have seen here. So nobody should kind of jeopardize us. If you don't willing to govern, you can leave our country, and we find people that will come and govern us and take us to where we want for our country to go. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Right. Thank you. And don't forget today, the biggest of all, the Freedom Cash giveaway, the Golden Jackpot continues. You can win $20,000 up to $100,000 today, right, Esther? All right, so this is the code *799 *70 hatch.
Yes, and it's
all right.
$200 Liberian dollars to
play.
$1.50.
All right, let's take Masisi as our last caller. Esther, just interact with Masisi.
Masisi, welcome to the show. Let's hear you, ma'am.
Yeah, how you doing? I'm speaking with her.
I'm all right, the oldest woman in Liberia.
Thank you. Matola Esther, don't bother me. How you doing, Matola?
I'm fine.
Okay, let me say I'll to my allies, all of them in the diaspora. Every day I'm back on the air. I think 1 or 2 weeks now when I'm on the air because when I'm well.
Okay, we wish you well.
I want to say thank God. God bless you. They can move the last week or go I'll take it. I think I've got. I moved the last week. I do. So let me say thanks to the Almighty God. Yeah, I want to ask my little question to you and Esther. I want to ask the government and further the Bwaka government. Whether they want to govern this country or they want to govern this country. They want to to Bwaka. I want to ask them whether they want to govern this country because they think they told us in this country. But I want to do it, but they don't want to do it. You told they're going to make this easy for us in the country. They're going to get offices, they're going to get jobs. They're going to even put a money in the kitchen, dream money business. They're going to get an office. They're going to get an office. So they will not see that happening with them. And my daughter Esther, then they will ask people who say they put which one, then they said Allah. Oh, yes. 12 years, everybody wants your money. Everybody will say, oh, we get after job people. That's going to even bring your papa. You know what I'm saying? So see it when they're going to have party today. Talking about, oh, you want to get after you brought Lala document. And Allah is fire. You think they're possible? They're not possible. It's not in the governor. They cannot do which one and what they want, which one will give it to them. We're not afraid to die. They get forward. For taking the city. Take out. You will tell. You see, you go. Because you don't get no hard at beating you. You carry battery on your chest. You think you are coming this country to walk out and think you're going to wait for city? You're not for city. Well, Betty, you try and lead us. And we said, tell the president, all the people and let
Okay, Masisi, thank you for joining us. Let's squeeze in one more call and then we can take our leave from here. Welcome to the show. Let's hear you. Good morning. Go ahead. We can hear you.
Yeah, I'm Sekou Vialis and Keita calling from Ghana.
Quickly, go ahead.
Let me first say thank you to you people in studio, and I want to appreciate the former president, President George Manuel Weah, for his letter to the ECOWAS for that intervention just in the crisis in Liberia.
Okay.
I urge all of my comrades and I urge all of my citizens, most especially our participants, institutions, that are really kind and listening to the voice of our political leader, and whosoever that is part and parcel of the molecule for democratic change. What is going on is we that one that is keeping the peace. There's a situation, most especially the typical librarian is we the one who is in the peace. It is not the Joseph Yuvan Waka government. The other Liberians that keep kind and listen to the voice of our president to see how best to find resolution for the Senegal conflict.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you to all.
Okay, thank you very much. That was our last caller for today.
So true. We gotta go. So let's go to Gus. Gus, you can close up. No time. We got commercials commitment in few seconds. So let's get to your parting comments in a minute.
Thank you, guys. Have a great day. Appreciate the time on here. You see the people already calling me to go do their work. I'll see you.
Okay.
All right. See you, Gus. We'll catch up with you tomorrow by His grace. All right, folks, we got to go. And so we say thanks to all of you for being a part of the program from the pre-news, the August 26th edition. Many thanks to all of you for your comments, your calls, and those of you who sat there and played a listening role. By His grace and mercy, we are back here tomorrow on another edition of the pre-news. Until then, do have a pleasant Monday and a great week ahead.